Hello and welcome back. So, today I got home and reached in the bucket of locks that I got from Randy Perkins. Randy, thank you again for all the locks. This time I pulled out a challenge lock from Den Brass. This is a goal. I've not picked a goal before. Pretty good bidding on it, not your typical Den Brass. I mean, it does have a low one with some highs, but it's not your extreme high-low bidding that he normally puts in there. But at any rate, I thought I'd put it in the vise and see if I can get it open. Don't think I've never even picked a goal stock, so picking a goal challenge lock will be a first. But at any rate, let's get it in the vise and get this thing, see if we can get it picked. I recently had a comment on my last video about going over locks, and once I get them open, if I can get this one open, I'll do it. Going over a little bit more detail. I'm going to use my top of the keyway that I got from West Coast Picks. Yeah, going over a little bit more detail of how the pins interact and the usefulness of overset traps and stuff like that. So I'm guessing with Den Brass lock, he makes some really good challenge locks. So I'm guessing I'll be able to go over some of that stuff in this lock. But let's see if we can get into it first. I'm going to do what I normally do, which is start in the back of the lock and apply fairly light tension. It is a challenge lock, and pull forward and search for a binder. Okay, 4. Okay, I got to click on him. 3 is giving me, okay, got to click on him, but that was a real violent click. Okay, well, I guess it's going to work, because there was a little bit on 1. Three just gave me a slight click. Okay, another click on 4, but I lost a little bit of my false set here. Hold on. Two. Feeling very crunchy in here. Oh, okay. Just got a deeper false set on it. Well, that was 1, but it felt like it may have been an overset. I'll back off a little bit here. That was 3. 1. A little bit on 2. 3. 4. I'd overset something because I let off and just got a deeper false set on it. One is set. 2, okay, just gave me a nice deep false set. Hopefully that's not an overset trap. 1 is solid, 2 is solid, 3, all the way to the back there. Let's see if I can get under 5. Oh, that's what it was. It was 5. Okay. Apparently I had skipped over 5 a couple times, but well, we have her picked. So let's get this thing gutted, and we will go over it. That was a fun little pick. Kept me guessing for half a minute there. Didn't know what I had going. I guess I didn't zoom in on that one, but that's fine. I think most of the time I think I'm pretty close. And I noticed on my last video when I zoomed in, I have focus issues. So maybe you guys let me know if staying where I was at was fine. So I think you guys can probably see pretty good what I'm doing. This one has a Phillips head. Screws on the back. I'm going to tilt this down and we'll go over this pretty well here. I think I think most of the time I'm pretty close. You guys can see what I've got going on. I'm not picking from across the table or anything, and the camera is right over my shoulder, or right in front of me, next to my shoulder. So I think we're probably close enough. There we go. Okay, I am gonna try to shim this. It is a challenge lock. I was looking at the way this is in there. It looks pretty tight in there, but we're gonna try it anyway. There we go. Yep. Okay, I got a shim in there just fine. All right. Pins are up. All right. I'm seeing some nastiness already in this 5-pinner. Oh wow! Look at that. Let me grab that key. This is awesome. This is a really good lock here. I'm seeing all 5 pins are in and working, but you can already see that pin in too. I'm also seeing threading in every chamber. That is awesome. Let's dump these. Okay, there is a T-pin key pin with serrations, a pin in 2 with serrations on the outer. Nice. A spool with serrations on 3, a double spool in 4, and a very serrated pin in 5. Awesome looking pins, man. Den, you did a really good job on those. As I said before, all 5 chambers are threaded. Now, to explain a little bit, you can see 5 is heavily serrated. Well, when I'm picking that, every one of those serrations can hit in those in the threads in the chamber, so I'll get multiple clicks out of that pin. I'll also get multiple clicks out of this double spool, because as you can see, it's pretty low in there too, so every time it hits one of those serrations, I'll get another click. That's why this lock was so clicky. There's that one really deep, and it had serrations on it in 3. It had serrations and a spool on top. Oop, I just dropped it. And a spool on top. So those serrations would fit into the threads in chamber 3. But then if I over pick it, then the spool on the top will give me a false set that might be hard to get out from. That makes it an overset trap. Same thing with those double spools. This pin here as a key pin, if I push it up and I get it too far into those serrations, this part would go up into the Bible, and this part would give me a nice false set, and I definitely wouldn't get out from underneath that. So it's good I did not overset 2. So that gives you a little bit on the key pin situation. Let's do a little bit on the Bible here and see what he has up top. This is a really awesome lock. Okay, looks like we have a spool, a nice sharp deep spool with a couple of tiers on it and a serration. Awesome looking pin there. And of course that serration, well, hold on a second here. No, he didn't do anything in the Bible. There's no way he could have done anything up there, because, well, I guess he could have went through the bottom, but I'm not seeing anything. 2 just popped out on me, but it's a serrated pin as well. Let's see, let's get these out and then we'll talk. Oh wow, that's a heavily serrated pin. Look at that. That's going to catch in all those threads. Wow, that is awesome. That will catch in the threads in the plug. Let me show you that once I get this all out. But that's a really serrated pin, and different spacing on the serrations too. Okay, that there. Finally, oh, I just flipped him over. There he is. Another steel spring. 4 is, wow, another heavily serrated pin. Wow, man, you went serration happy with this one. Look at that. Those are some nice sharp threads on that. That is, jeez Louise, I don't even know how many threads are on that thing. Awesome job on that pin. It's going to take 5 out the back here since I'm... There we go. And it's a T-pin, which is why it opened up on 5. And as you can see, that T-pin right there also has some serrations above it too to catch on the threads. Now I said that it opened on the T-pin, and that makes sense. I'll go ahead and take these last two springs out. I think they're the same. Yeah, they are. They're both steel springs. Had all steel springs, no threading or anything crazy up in the Bible. All the threading was in the plug. But I want to show you guys, for instance, that every pin needed to be picked, and all these serrations come into play. As you can see, I'm going to put all these pins back in, and you'll see how they land in the lock as far as... Okay, as you can see, everything there is below the shear line. So that means that nothing sat right on top of the shear line, so there was no major overset trap. However, you can see that one sits right in there, and just enough of the threads will catch in the threads of that to catch on the just enough of the serrations will on the pin will catch into the threads. Same thing with this one. Now, the usefulness of all those threads probably didn't need to serrate all of that, because this pin only goes that far in. Now, if he had threaded the Bible, then those ones would have came into play up top. But as it is, the only ones that came into play are the ones that were below that. This one is in 3, and most of those serrations came into play. As you can see, that's well below that shear line. Just 2 or 3 of the ones on top didn't come into play. So that's where threading the Bible will come into play. This one had a spool with some serrations, and that spool obviously came into play, but the serrations on top did not. So, dropped him. As you can see, when I set him down in there, those serrations are above the shear line. So they really didn't, the serrations on that pin didn't come into play. Now this one was a very well made pin. As you can see, it is right at the shear line where the serrations at. All those threads catch on that sharp spool, and then of course once it gets to a certain point, it'll kick over and you'd have to reset it. But being that there's one T-pin in the lock, that reduced diameter is going to be the farthest point at which the cylinder turns to, and that's why you'll open it up on a T-pin like that almost every time. Unless you just shove pin 5 up really tall while you're picking to begin with, you'll always open it up on that T-pin. Again, awesome pins. I think I've kind of showed every one of them just in a different fashion today. All steel springs, but that's what was inside of this gold lock from Den Brass. I hope that I answered some of your questions to the person that commented to me. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you, Randy Perkins, for sending me this lock. Thank you, Den Brass, for making it. Thank you guys for watching. And, well, don't break the law.